Good morning once again, and we're glad you're still with us here on Morning at NTV. Time now for the Kickstarter, and we are going to be talking Balaalo eviction from Acholi region and the greater Northern Uganda. It's an issue that has been ongoing for a while now, causing tensions within communities in Northern Uganda as executive orders roll out or fail to be implemented, as some people will say. What is happening on ground? That is a lot that we have to chew on this morning, and in light of President Yoweri Museveni's order that Balaalo with non-fenced farmland in Greater North leave the region within 3 weeks. What does this mean? In studio, I'm joined by Daniel Barekye. He's the coordinator for Balaalo in Northern Uganda. Many thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
We're also joined by Honorable Gilbert Oulanya, the MP for Kilak South. Many thanks for making time.
Thank you so much, my brother. Good morning.
Good morning, too. Gentlemen, there is so much that is flying around in terms of information, in terms of facts, in terms of context. And if you are not the keen eye, you might completely get a distorted picture of what is happening in Northern Uganda with regard to the issue of Balaalo. I'll be coming to you, Mr. Barekye, very shortly, but we are honored to have Honorable Oulanya with us here. The context, the background is important to the latest standoff in light of executive order that was issued by President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Get us started with the background of this whole crisis.
Thank you so much, Chris, and everyone following NTV Morning Show. I recall in 2023, when we met His Excellency the President in Otuke at Baralegi. From there, we informed the President about the people who are keeping animals in Northern Uganda, but some of them are carrying guns. We informed the President that our people are scared, and those people, we do not know where they came from, and they are so rude, very arrogant. I also informed the President about the massive tree cutting in Northern Uganda, and the President promised that he was going to give the executive order, and I am happy that barely 2 weeks down the road, President gave the executive orders number 3, where he stated clearly that all these people who are keeping animals in Northern Uganda should go. And if you want to remain in Northern Uganda, make sure you have your own water source, make sure the land is properly fenced, and make sure your animals do not move around and destroy communities' crops. The President gave very good directives. And from that time, some of them became very stubborn. They connived with the former minister of Northern Uganda, Grace Kwechwin. Grace Kwechwin went to State House and convinced the President that there is foot and mouth disease, that barred the animals' movement from Northern Uganda to other parts. There, all kind of evictions, all kind of movement of animals was put on hold. And people from Northern Uganda were there suffering internally. In fact, the animals of these Balaalos continues to destroy people's crops. And when the reshufflement came, Dr. Mona was appointed the minister in charge of Northern Uganda. And we had to remind Dr. Mona again that please, as the minister in charge of Northern Uganda, our people are not happy. These Balaalo, when the animals destroy people's crops, gardens of millets, of soybean, of sorghum, someone would pull 20,000 and throw to the landowner and say, please, this is your compensation. If you take them to police, or if you dare to arresting their animals, they run straight to the police. They come with guns, so rude, and they could go ahead and arrest the victims instead of solving the problem. In fact, the situation is quite bitter. And many of them who bought the land, they claim that they bought 10,000 hectares. 20,000 hectares. After buying the land, they fence everywhere. Aware that our people have their sources of water, whereby they walk sometimes 1 kilometer to go and fetch water.
Communal sources.
Communal source of water.
Yeah.
And they move ahead and fence all the area. So if you want to go and fetch water, they have to open the gate for you. They just became like the landlords, more superior. And also, we told His Excellency the procedures of selling those land to Balaalo. Aware that land in Acholi is communally owned. No one is the owner of the land. Therefore, if you want to buy the land, you must get the consent of the tribes, the consent of the clan. Every family member is the owner of the land. But what they do, they connive with few individuals, those ones who pretend that they are more connected. They pay money from town, and they go and start chasing away other Wananchi from their land. So the situation became so alarming. That is why His Excellency said, this time I am giving the executive order. He called it number 2. Number 2 of 2025. And on this executive order, I am happy that the President said that let all animals live and other matters shall be sorted out later on. Whether you bought the land genuinely or you got it fraudulently. The President is saying, please pack your animal and leave. I am happy, my brother, that some of them who are law-abiding, they have started leaving the place.
Living before.
Living before. And I would like to give an example, including Jerusalem Saleh, the brother to His Excellency the President. His animals were in the place called Nyamokino in Noya. And as I speak now, he has transported this animal away from Acholi. He brought them this side. I don't know where he's taking them, where he took them.
Which side do you mean? He brought them to...
I don't know where
they left Northern Uganda?
They left Northern Uganda.
Okay.
So he packed his animals from Nyamokino in Noya district. He left. So now, we are now saying, if the whole general, Saleh is respecting the presidential directives, why is it others are so stubborn? And very many of them, you can see my brother here, right now they are wasting their time hiring few individuals to go on media, and those individuals are claiming that they are the landowners in Acholi.
Okay.
So we are asking them, do you know the real landowners in Acholi? The landowners in Acholi are not these Bayai, are not these mafias. The landowners are the clan people. And land in Acholi does not belong to an individual.
To an individual. It's
land in Acholi belongs even to the unborn child, even to the dead, even to the elderly. So by hiring somebody to begin claiming that I am the landowner, I think this is so ridiculous.
Okay, later we shall seek to understand the land tenure system and exactly how some people could be taking advantage of the fact that there are people who play the important or influential card, and whether anyone that's seeking to buy land actually go through the whole process of consulting with all clan members and communities. But let's allow Daniel Barekye, the coordinator for Balaalo. That is across the entire Northern Uganda or within a particular section of the region?
Thank you, Mr. Chris again, and thank you NTV management and for hosting us again. Northern Uganda, yes, mostly because the contention, the tribal contention mostly is with our brother, the area of Acholi sub-region.
Acholi sub-region, yeah.
Those are the igniting tribal fire to even the whole other part of Northern Uganda. I'm just here to mourn.
To mourn?
To mourn. And as I was telling Procedure and you that how I wish, the last time I was here, I was most of the victim. But I had requested that we invite one of our brothers, Honorable Gilbert Oulanya here.
And we've come through on that.
How I wish we came here to tell the public court, to tell even the international community, because we are now IDPs, internally displaced persons.
you're wishing you had come here before?
Before the issuing
of this latest executive order. Which was based on purely the president was misled. And he's being pressurized. It's campaign time. He has no option. We belong to his tribe. If he doesn't act, he will be accused of favoritism and segregation. And my brother here, now our other brother, Honorable Dongoto, they are now sounding the real NRM supporters. So they say, the president, if you don't chase Balaalo, you will not get NRM will lose. Mr. Barekye, I do understand the context of a political season coming ahead and that some of the actions could be related to appeasing different sections of society. But let me ask the fundamental question. How do you get into the places you are in right now as Balaalo?
Exactly. You see, the challenge with our politicians here are not honest. He knows the truth.
Tell us.
Number one,
first
of all, we don't know Acholi language. However much we are given names like my name, Rubanga Ken, but we are invited by our friends, including him. They know that even them, the ministers, the MPs, sell land. He's here. He knows. He knows. I can cite names. Then plus they send their brokers and all that. So they take you to the land. The normal land transaction, they take you to the land, then they call the family, it's called, they say, it's a family resolution, they sit as a family. He knows the truth.
To attend to the fundamental that it's communal land.
Yes, I'm just coming. They sign a family resolution, including the cultural leadership representative called Road Query. At the village level, they called in government, which is represented by chairperson LC1 and his or her committee. They certify that there is no question about it. It's sort out the lie that it's communal land because they have miles and miles and they have titles. My brother here knows that they are not by the many. It's a political class, it's a tribal class, it's a segregation class that is just using Balaalo to achieve their ends. So they signed those agreements. LC1 is there, cultural lead is there, the family has confirmed, the custodian of the land is the cultural institution and it is represented.
Let me hold you in your tracks, and my apologies, but we need to entirely be able to get all the information that we need. What conditions the large-scale purchase of land by the Balaalo? Because let's leave the fact that transactions are normal. Anyone can buy land at any one time at any one point in time. What conditions this purchase of land en masse by the Balaalo? You're looking out for pasture?
Thank you. Our business, when I was here, I said, for example, me, I don't need this English to make, you give me pasture and water, it's my business, anywhere.
Across
and
the
he
country.
knows, and even if it's, provided there is peace, and you give me pasture and water, I know how to create wealth with the cows. And he knows that, I don't want to mention names, but he knows the truth that many of the actually leaders, top leaders who belong to Balaalo must go, have thousands and thousands of miles of land on so-called customary land. They have cows. When we were not yet here, I was like, how I wish if you are chasing cows, not tribe. Why don't you chase even, I gave him names and he knows in different Acholi sub-region.
Those that own land, have cattle on that land, and are Acholi.
And even bought land. So when we buy land, it becomes customary. When an Acholi buys land, it becomes okay. When a Sudanese buys land, it becomes okay. When an Indian buys the land, it becomes okay. So to me, the truth of the matter is one. I'm just here again, just to say, this country is just sitting on a bomb. That's what I can only say.
Wow.
Because, bottom line, tribal politics will not take us anywhere.
I won't go into anything tribal for this moment in time, but let me return to Honorable Oulanya. There is what appears to be en masse purchase of land by the Balaalo. Is that right?
Yes.
He also claims that other people also buy land, including individuals within the communities, yourselves, the Acholi, and any other person. And that it's only when the Balaalo purchase land that it becomes an issue. What's the politicking all about?
Chris, my brother is missing the point.
Okay.
The issues of Balaalo must go has nothing to do completely with tribal sentiment. But there are others who want it to appear that the Acholi community are chasing away other tribes. They only want to buy sympathy from other people. This has nothing to do with tribal. We have very many examples. Very many tribes bought land in Acholi, and we are living with them very amicably. What we are doing is the animals-human being conflict. We are saying, let the animals live in Northern Uganda. And my brother, if you have your land, take away your animals from where you came from and see whether you'll be disturbed or not. No one will ever disturb you. So here is strictly animals, human settlement conflict. So let us remove away the tribal sentiment. And number two, you claim that you are now IDP onto your own area. You know, you cannot be IDP into some other people's land. So you have land where you came from. The internal displaced persons is normally displaced within the area. So you may say you are externally displaced persons because you came from somewhere, and His Excellency the President described Balaalo very well. The President told us that the Balaalos are foreigners who came from Rwanda, Tanzania, Burundi, and we don't know where you came from. So you cannot claim that you are in IDP within the Acholi land. When you came from Rwanda, from Tanzania, from Burundi.
That is another issue, yes. Honorable. Let me not go into where the origins of the Balaalo are. Let's stick to the aspect that you are constrained by the fact that they are not allowing communal use of the resources available. Yes. You're really comfortable with the fact that they own land. That is not an issue. Somebody can buy land. But when they buy that land, they make it hard for the communities to live comfortably.
You know, the constitution of Uganda is very clear. Anybody, any Ugandan is free
to purchase
and stay in any part of this country. That's why I really love those ones who work on our constitution. It's very clear. So we are not tribal at all. We have very many Acholis who have land in Barara. Very many Acholis who have land here in Kampala, in eastern Uganda. People are living everywhere. But the major problem is the conflict between their animals and the human settlement.
And the human settlement.
Yeah. And as I told you earlier, their animals are eating our people's crops. Eating people's crops, they become so arrogant. And I'm also, he also knows, I don't know where they are getting guns from. The majority of them, they are looking after their animals with AK-47. So I don't know who is supplying them with guns. And it is true, there are other animals that are being owned by these top UPDF generals. That is why General Salim Saleh had to remove away his animals. So we are now saying, please, for the meantime, for the sake of peace, let the Balaalo leave Northern Uganda. Just for the sake of peace. And as he claimed that we are talking of votes and other things, you know, the truth of the matter is, I need not to lie to you. The truth of the matter is, land is everything for the people of Northern Uganda. And the moment His Excellency tampered with the land of our people in Acholi sub-region, automatically we cannot vote for him. That is the truth of the matter. The moment you interfere with the land settlement, the land rights of our people, why should we give you vote? It's better we vote you out, we find someone who will take care of the land rights of our people. So what the president is doing is very right. And on claim that we are now the supporters of the NRM, I don't know what you mean by that. But even if so, if the president is supporting our people, and the president is doing the right thing for the betterment of the Acholi community, automatically we go by him. And right now we are 100% supporting his idea that Balaalo must go because you bought that land fraudulently. Just go.
A framework of going should be available right now. If the words of the commander of the 4th Division headquarters, that is General Felix Busi-Zori, are anything to go by. The 25th is tomorrow, and evictions, especially of what he described as indisciplined Balaalo, is going to be effected. You own land right now, and you bought it legitimately, if the consultations you talked about earlier are anything to be considered. Now that the evictions are going to happen, that leaves another question. Who owns the land that you purchased?
Thank you. Before we came in, and I keep saying it here, I'm like, instead of killing the Northern Uganda economy because of politics, how I wish we would go together. I was requesting him that, and I still request him, that we walk to our big brothers, the Chief Justice, the Minister of Constitutional Affairs, and we just be one side and go and convince the president and say, instead of, because these animals, when he says, it's laughable, he's an educated person, he's a member of parliament, he says, take the animals, take them where? By the time, for example, it's like when can we also tell you, the Banyoro should tell you that you take your school in, is it Weyare, Chiliandongo? And your brother's medical center in Bweyare? Yes. Or Baganda should also tell you, take your home. I know you've not fried from Acholi to come to this studio. You came from your Kampala home. So to me, the tribal politics is becoming funny. First of all, the kilo of meat now, it was shooting to 20,000 a kilo, but now it is dropping because there is an overflow. He's happy that the animals are living. Genocide is maybe is taking the animals. But the peasants of my level and others are dying. Actually, some people are dying of heart attack, some people are dying of pressure because they have nowhere. Some even sold their land. The peasants both. The way he came to Bunyoro, the way he came to Uganda. I mean, so
answer a question for us that should be able to enlighten. When the locals complain about your fencing of these large strips of land, and that makes their ability to access water resources difficult. When the locals complain about the fact that some animals breach the fences and encroach on crops, which affects their own livelihood and subsistence living, what do you offer as the solutions? Because that seems to be a grave concern.
Thank you. When we were getting out, I was like, first of all, as leaders, they don't know us, first of all. Even the meetings, the Honorable Minister of Northern Uganda, when he came in, he did not, a lot of meetings where we were excluded. They don't know. We have no problem with the communities we live in. We are part of the community.
How have you addressed their concerns?
When the animals, even when I am living with my brother, for example, animal crop conflict is natural. We sit on the table, sort it. Purely, we negotiate to compensate. These other guns of arrests, those are just, they are framing us to deaden us. But when my neighbor or the animals, first of all, we complied for wires, as the president guided. Put in water, everything. But as animals are animals, they are like babies. In case they break the fence, we sit down and then one case, of an indisciplined person can be sorted, and the law is there. I was telling him that even Acholi, every community has the bad apples and the good apples. We cannot say, I asked him that out of 10 communities down, that's what, how many are complaining? You will find it's one, just one. So does that mean that we are bad? Second, even I don't want to mention names, but he knows big farms of Acholi leaders. They also behave the same. But for them, even communities even cry, because for them, they fear the top guys, for us at least.
What is the compensation framework if animals have breached fences and occasioned destruction on locals? Even
where we come from, we agree. It's a matter of agreeing. Like when the animals destroy crops, I'm invited to check the crops. We agree. Yeah, that's the number one. Before even we call in the authorities like chairperson, LC1 and all that. But normally the procedure is one, the owner of the crops and the owner of the cows agree. That's number one.
Honorable.
It's not, let me finish that. When it goes beyond it fails to agree on that level, the chairperson comes in, invites even the agriculture officer at the sub-county. You understand? And that's where the problem is. They are not providing leadership. They are just using Balaalo as just like ladders to go back to because they are being seen on TV and they know they are being...
Interesting there. Yeah. Gentlemen, the numbers are staggering here. We have 15,000 reported Balaalo in the region. Now, if there are cases of conflict and tensions on account of animals breaching fences and occasioning destruction upon crops, or even locals being unable to go through some of these acres of land in order to access water, when that happens, talk to us about numbers so we can have this context to us in full. What compensation mechanisms are in place? You spoke about some of the Balaalo offering 20,000 Uganda shillings when entire swaths of crop have been destroyed. You see that as disrespectful and sometimes arrogant, but what is the incidence of that?
Chris, I was telling him that there's a proverb in Acholi that says, Ogwalachelo balabangpi.
Ogwalachelo balabalopi.
Literally, it means one frog can spoil the water.
All right.
One frog. So now, what is happening with our brothers, the Balaalo? They are extremely arrogant. Okay. The animal would go, eat somebody's millet, 2, 3, 4 hectares. The person will come with police, with guns, pull 20,000 and give. And the poor mother in the village, because of fear for her life, she would just keep quiet. She ended up only shedding tears silently. So these people, and there's no serious criteria of compensation. Many of their animals were arrested by the locals. And at the end, they go with police, they remove away those animals forcefully. So there's no serious, proper guidelines as far as compensation is concerned. And as you asked earlier on about the deadline, I would like to thank General Felix and our RDC. They gave the deadline for the 25th, which is tomorrow. Tomorrow, yeah. And I pray that the deadline for 25th must not be interfered with. You know, there's a tendency all along from 2023, wherever a deadline is given, there are many excuses that comes. And at the end, you find them extending the date. So we are now saying, as leaders from Acholi, that let the deadline be respected. And I pray that my brother should really respect the deadline by tomorrow. Please make sure you transport your animals away from Northern Uganda. Any other issues shall be sorted out later. And then there's one thing that is stated, that for us, our families are in Bunyoro, in other places. It is true. During the war, personally, for us, we came and settled in Masindi. And in Masindi, we have the school, we have other businesses. But our school and other businesses in Masindi, those ones are not interfering with the human settlement in that area. The school is different from the animal.
How much did you buy land, for example, if you are to...
No.
Yes, because you see, that's the truth. If you are to present an agreement of how much you bought land in Masindi, for example, in Bunyoro and in Kampala, and how much, for example, you know that land by our coming there, actually, made the land to press to shoot. But you are just here, instead of providing leadership and helping your society to get out of poverty.
Can you allow me to finish this?
You are just making them poor.
All right.
You allow me to finish.
That is perfectly understandable.
You should not divert us. The most important thing is we are talking of your animals conflicting with the livelihood of the Acholi community. Our schools, our health centers, instead, is helping the community who are in that area. What we are dwelling on is strictly the animals which is conflicting with the livelihood of our people. Your animals are destroying our people's crops. You are blocking the way. In fact, you are inconveniencing our people, unaware that the land used for grazing, that land automatically shall become unproductive. It means if you continue living in Acholi land for more than 10 to 15 years, our method of cultivation shall automatically collapse. Gentlemen, because the grazing land automatically becomes unproductive.
Gentlemen,
this is what I'm saying.
Honorable Oulanya, your submissions echo a deep-seated fear of a takeover of land by individuals that either have the muscle to purchase land in acres, while his submission is one that depicts a man who is being blocked from improving the economy, so to speak. But here we are. Recently, the Chief Justice spoke about the fact that top guns, those are leaders, including army generals, are involved in the purchase of land. You know? And it is this seeming land-grabbing scheme that is bothering many leaders in Northern Uganda. The fact that individuals that have the money to purchase huge tracts of land take advantage of existing socio-economic conditions. This is where the problem is, land grab. It is also one that should be understood in the context of the eviction process that is being undertaken by the Uganda People's Defense Forces. There is no framework that is being talked about of compensation of Balaalo who had bought land and are being told to take their cows off. Do we see where we are?
Chris, I would like to say you are extremely correct. You know, the manner in which this Balaalo bought land from Northern Uganda, if you look at it, you may shed tears for the people of Northern Uganda. An acre depends on how you negotiate. For some people, they were paying 200,000 per acre. For some community, they were paying 400,000 per acre. You know, they were playing with the psychology of some mafias who position themselves as the landowners. The so-called broker he is talking about. And he mentioned that there are other big swords from Northern Uganda who are connecting them. I wanted him not to fear to mention the name of those big swords. You know, they were just playing with the psychology of our people. Like when we went to Pade, the head of that family was crying to us members of parliament, kneeling down and saying, please, my son who stays in Gulu, arrive here with Balaalo. And the son went to the family, beat the Muzee thoroughly, and told the Muzee to keep quiet. The man handed over about 1,000 hectares of land to that Balaalo. So the manner in which the land is being bought by this Balaalo is questionable. So we are saying you bought that land, and that's the issue. Exactly.
It's not about. So it's not about cattle or animals eating crops. It's not about you guys not allowing locals to the water sources. Yes. It's about how land is being purchased.
And if I can finish the statement,
please do.
So, and the fear that the land shall be taken over in the future. You are very correct. You are 100% correct. Because I recall some 2 years back, this Balaalo asked the Ministry of Finance to give them loan to buy land for the cattle keepers in Northern Uganda.
Ministry of Finance.
So there's a calculated move.
Wow.
says how people are poor.
Lastly.
So you want to, so you want to fight and work on our
Lastly,
property?
One question is going to be yes or no. Are you moving your animals?
Before you
I don't have a lot of time.
Do you realize that you've not provided the leadership? That
you've consistently told me that
is a big factor of production. It's
are you adhering to the UPDF directive? Are you going to move your animals
by tomorrow?
Are you going to move your animals?
I mean, there's no question about it. But he's killing the economy.
Thank you very much, Daniel Barekye, Balaalo Coordinator in Northern Uganda. Many thanks to you too, Honorable Gilbert Oulanya, MP for Kilak South.
By 26, we shall help you.
We shall be following that. You're watching Morning at NTV. Time now for a break as we inch closer to the